Well, there's definitely more to talk about in the Rob Reiner case, and Rob and Michelle Reiner, but especially Rob. And, well, I have to be careful. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. I'm Lady Zelda with House of Zelda and Seeing Crime. I have some things that I want to talk to you about. And, most of the things that I want to say, I can't say here. So I'm going to have to be a little creative. And if you will please do me a favor, if you want me to read your comment, you got to be a little creative as well. Otherwise, they get hidden or banned, and I don't even see them. So I do like to read all of your comments. So if you will do me that favor, hey, let's be creative, right? Let's be creative because I want to bring this to you because there's some things that you need to know. First of all, please like and subscribe. I'm really close to being to 16,000 on this channel. I would love to do it by the end of the year, which is just a few days. Today is December the 27th of 2025. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday, a wonderful Christmas tide. I certainly did. So now let's get into this. A few years ago, I believe it was in the year 2000, Al Franken, who was a senator from Minnesota, was roasting Rob Reiner, made some very inappropriate jokes about Nick. There were some other comedians there, extremely inappropriate. Even Rob Reiner's father, Carl Reiner, said, "What's with these jokes?" So, of course, then Al, not because of this situation, but Al Franken resigned in 2009. That was a whole other thing. But there is a known underground. You all know what I'm talking about. It is believed that this man that we're talking about today has and was heavily involved. It was also known that he said that there were special people of male persuasion that he would allow to visit Nick when Nick was a very young boy. So there were plenty of things coming out. And even in May 2024, Nick Reiner, there was a feature on him about being homeless. So I always wonder where a lot of the problems stem, where a lot of these issues. Now, I'm just saying, I don't have personal knowledge. I just have knowledge, and I invite all of you to go and look at it. I know many of you know this as well. The other son, Jake Reiner, came out on Christmas Day and said that he was actually afraid of Nick. He was afraid of Nick doing this to himself, afraid of Nick doing this to another family member, because Nick was constantly distraught over some things. And then that comment went completely away. It looks like it's just been scrubbed. I wanted to find that, and I couldn't find it because I wanted to put it on here to show you. Yeah, those types of things happen. We know it, and we know why. I'm waiting for the latest update to come out from Alan Jackson, the attorney for Nick Reiner. Hopefully we'll be knowing an update. We'll see something very soon. Alan Jackson is the best in the business, and if anything is going to be done to assist in this very tragic situation, and look, just because of all those things that possibly sort of kind of maybe happened, I don't like this type of thing on any level. And on any level, it's just disturbingly evil. And I'm going to tell you that I feel a lot, and disturbingly evil as far as the accusations about What Al Franken was talking about is what I'm talking about. It's very sad mental illness here in the United States does not get the help, does not get the medical assistance. With that being said, I want to look into the situation. I want to look into now, are these statements true? Because there were a lot of people that said this, and quite frankly, I've been seeing on another platform, I do not know it's true, but that there were bodies that were in the basement of this house. Do I know that? I don't know. I've been trying to find that out as well. With that being said, I have the cards out here in front of me. This may be a darker video, so disclaimer. For those of you who get upset with this sort of thing, this may not be the one for you. And look, I love you, but you can click off. It's okay. For those of you who want to know, like me, stick around. We're going to try to go as deep as we possibly can. And we're going to find out exactly if there's more to the story or not. The cards don't lie. The numbers don't lie. We're going to read the energy. And you never know. I may do an EVP or two somewhere along the line. Got a lot of things that we can talk about these days. But with that being said, Crime and Shadows, the Hidden Deck, Piotnik, and House of Zelda. Yes, an array of different types of decks. So we are asking now, are those rumors, let me put it that way, I want to say rumors, are those rumors of I bet I know the card this is. It's been coming out a lot. Came out in a reading that I did just a little bit ago. I bet I know it is. I bet it's the one with the curtain tied back and with the chair and the coat on the curtain. And is it? Yes. Because, you know, the more I read with these cards, the more deeper the meaning that I have. And they are available in the Psychic Shop if you want to download these. You can actually put the art on your own stock. If you don't have, look, if you don't have card stock, use another deck of cards that you don't like or use, or even index cards. Get creative. But the quality is based on the quality of your printer. So just know that. The more I read with these cards, the more I feel that there is a deeper meaning. And with this card especially. This card, for me, the more we go on, means that someone knows when they've done wrong and they're watching. They're watching who comes next. They're watching out. They could be watching out for others. But this is a waiting game. And why do I know that? Is because the coat is on the back of the chair. You don't put a coat on the back of the chair unless you're planning on staying for a little while in case you're waiting things out. So this looks like, when we ask are the rumors true, it looks like this card came out because the person that we're asking about seemed to be waiting and watching. For whom? Look at that card that came out, and it bent. Wow. We're going to have to fix him because I don't like bent cards, but it bent for a reason. Let me put these back in here. This card with the hidden deck goes beyond hidden. Look at this image. This can be someone taking the unaliving of someone or the hurt of someone as a joke. But this is also the card of, is someone hiding something more sinister, more evil. You know, it's almost an underground type of situation that nobody talks about. And those who are in Hollywood don't talk about it. It's kind of like a participatory, wow, that was a word. In order to participate, you have to participate. Pardon me. That eyes wide shut. The island. Ecclesiastical. There's a certain ritual, tradition that goes along with this. We're going to let this card be in a second. We're going to come back to it. Tell us what we need to know about Rob Reiner and his extracurricular activities. Two cards came out. The universe knows the truth. That's right. And it's because it's something that is so heinous it cannot be talked about. And there was a plan. I still believe that there was, it could have been an entity. I mean, let's face it. It could have seriously been an entity because, frankly, I have studied that part of, it's like a parapsychology part of it. And you know where you've sometimes heard where people say, well, remember Flip Wilson? Yes, I remember all of you remember Flip Wilson. We used to come around and say, the devil made me buy that dress. Not to be funny about it, because it's not. But there have been, and I have actually talked with people who were convinced that an entity or a demon encouraged them to commit a particular act. Could have been a crime, could have been worse, with the promise of getting away with it in the end. That they were doing something for humanitarian purposes. I wonder if that happened with Nick. I wonder, and of course there's another word, and I'm not a medical, so I'm not even going to put it down here because it doesn't even matter. He has been diagnosed with a mental illness, and I'm very sorry to hear that. What is going on with him is, the whole situation is beyond tragedy. But I can't help but see that there is something, and that could be showing up, because sometimes it'll show up as a person. You see, when a person that I'm reading about, or even for, believes so emphatically that there is something, at some point for that person, it's no longer a lie or a fantasy. It becomes their perception of reality. I know that you understand that. And I'm asking, because the energy would know, was this part of Nick's perception of reality? What's, because the last time I read, it was plain there was someone else involved. Could have been. Maybe not on this spiritual plane. Let's see what the cards say. Traveling. Sometimes I just have to listen. So because we were just now talking about Nick, was this an, I hate to even say it, but I just heard it, an out-of-body travel? Was it because I don't think he was in his right, I know he was not in his right mind when all of this happened. Regret and the concern of progress. Let's look at this. All right, I need some clarification on the cards, please. Clarification. Because you see, my darlings, the reason there's some difficulty here is this. Reading for Nick is one thing, Rob and Michelle and one thing, Jake and one thing. But when you go beyond and you start feeling and seeing that there's something else involved, that makes the reading, I mean, it goes beyond forensic. It goes beyond a deep dive. Baby. So all of this started with Nick when he was young and a child. And I do know that Rob took him many places and traveled with him. You know, the one thing that was said about Rob Reiner and Nick is when they would literally kiss and make up. Just want you to think about that for a second. When they would argue, they would kiss and make up. Yeah. If you want dark, this is turning into this. So I'm being like, this card right here wanted to come out, and I'm going to take it. The truth is being hidden. Well, of course. Don't have to be psychic to know that one. The truth is being hidden, and it will continue to be hidden. All right, let's just do the speed round. All right. Is Nick's childhood going to be coming out in court? Is Nick's childhood coming out in court? Oh boy. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck, by the way. It's the ability to drink whatever potion you want to drink. I call it a potion. You can call it Kool-Aid if you want. But to drink from whatever vessel. There's the clean truth. And here's the muddy water. Will it come out? Will Alan Jackson try to bring it out? Will the court not allow him to bring it out? There's the other person. I don't know if I said it was a female the last time, but it resonates as a female. It could change. I mean, these things change, and it depends on the mindset. But it looks like someone that had association with the home. Someone, could it have been encouraged? Because it looks like an encouragement, but this was a lifelong thought. And encouragement. You know, we've talked about other cases, one especially in Canton, Massachusetts, where this one ATF agent and a Boston cop, I think is what he was, went to a New York funeral for a police officer there. I question whether they even made it because they were drinking so heavily. But this one fellow, I believe, from what I have seen, I'm sure was charging up the ATF agent. It's a long story. You can go back and look into the Karen Reed case if you like. But I feel that the same thing was happening here. That Nick was being poked at, encouraged, charged, peacocked, whatever you want to say. That there was he was on edge to begin with, and this pushed him over. This aligned with that frantic moment that you have right before regret. That's what I believe happened. That's what I believe happened. I'm just going to seriously say, if Nick is experiencing this type of thing mentally, and with many people, it seriously can be real. Just as real as you and I sitting here. So that's why it could be appearing as though there's some realism here. That there's someone else involved. Many times, someone encouraging in that particular realm, when it's that serious, will show up as someone from the opposite sex. Not always. In my experience, that has happened. Oh, look at this. Hope. That card was turned over. We're going to take that. We're going to shuffle again. See, hope, merriment. I think that this is what... I think Nick experienced these extreme lows and then was rewarded with extreme highs. And from what I gather, in my own personal readings on this, whatever Rob decided to do with Nick when he was younger was a part of the punishment and reward system. So Nick knew that there was a extreme so that he would conform to whatever was supposed to be conformed. Is it unfortunate the way this happened? Yes. I feel for the family. But I have a question. Why was Billy Crystal called first? I don't know. I guess it's one of those things, right? A childlike new beginning. So you see, this all sort of kind of makes sense. Because it would start as this ritual, and it would be given to Nick as this, okay, if you do this, it's that you start over. It's a brand new beginning. Rob Reiner was a very powerful person in Hollywood. Been around for a long time. The first time I remember him was when he played Archie Bunker's son-in-law on All in the Family. Meathead. Well, my darlings, yeah, speed round, and look, I just stopped. But anyway, that's what I have. The more I find out, and I just want you to know, think dark, and then think darker on top of it. And then you'll start hitting the bar where a lot of these things resonate with Rob Reiner. Check it out on your own, my darlings. Things were not perfect in that household. No excuses. Unfortunately, Nick did not get the mental care that he needed. Thanks for watching. I'll be back, my darlings. We'll keep watching this, and there's more stuff coming out on JonBenet. There's more things. There's all kinds of things that are happening right now. We'll keep up with it. We're gonna go out into this new year. And by the way, this new year of 2026 reduces to the number 1. It is the year of the horse. That horse is going to start galloping. It's a brand new path, a brand new beginning, and you're going to hit the road, the pavement, the dirt running. So plan for a good 2026. In the meantime, we're going to keep this coming. Please like and subscribe and do all the Tubi things. Thank you so much for being here. Much love. I appreciate you. You be well. And I'm going to go live soon. I'll announce it when I do. Members only, though. Thanks for watching. Bye.